was a very breezy welcome for Andy Robinson and his team to Billesley Common this afternoon as Bristol look to build on last weekend's victory over London Scottish. Mitch Eadie becomes the youngest player in the professional era to reach 100 competitive appearances for Bristol this afternoon. The one change in the Bristol side since that victory is Mark Jones at hooker. He comes in having recovered from a hip injury, and Ben Mosses is included in the 22-man squad as Bristol revert to a 4 forwards, 3 backs split. So Cliff will once again distribute. Paranisi takes a juddering side step and is felled. Henson running a nice line. It goes to Lemmy off his shoulder, and Lemmy's carving his way through the Moseley defence. And Bristol get the first try in some fashion. Gavin Henson running the dummy line, and the ball was just popped off the shoulder to David Lemmy, and there was a big enough gap for him to work his way through in the first place. Shuffled his feet around, and his power took him over the line through the tackle for Bristol's first score, first points of the day, and a great start for the away side. Simple conversion for Henson then with that win behind him, and Bristol are off to 7. And Henson slots the penalty with a little help from Jack Lamb, and Bristol are up to 10. Morgan, he's wrapped up in the tackle, but just about 2 metres out now. Costa crashes in. Bristol losing a little bit of ground, but there's men over here. If the ball moves out through the hands, Tovey Vandel steps inside and does enough to put his opposite number off to slide in. It was a matter of hands there for Bristol. There was enough of an overlap for any of those players to have scored. Great work from the forwards to tie in enough of the Moseley defenders on that far side of the field. The backs read that, spread out, and it was Vandel was the beneficiary on the end of some sensible play from Bristol. And Wallace steps in this time to help Gavin Henson out, and a spectacular kick in a very windy conditions. Lamb stepping in to help once again. Henson knocks the 3 points through the posts to make it 20-0. Into the Moseley defensive line. Costa, Bristol with their tails up hit, advancing up the field with play, every single play. Lovely ball from Morgan to Eadie, who skips around the last tackle. And in his 100th competitive appearance for the Bristol side, he gets a try on the stroke of half-time. Lovely bit of insight from Matthew Morgan to pump that last-minute ball out to Eadie, who skates through the line. And that last attempted tackle wasn't low enough, and Eadie powers through with his strength and power. Of course, Henson makes the conversion, and that will signal half-time. The score 27-0 to the visitors. Don't go short this time. Another pick and go straight into Joe Joyce. Mitch Eadie's dumped on top of this ruck, so Jack Tovey skirts around from the short side to help out his forwards make these tackles around the ruck. This time, Moseley shipped the ball. Hughes walks straight through the Bristol defence and underneath the posts. And that's the start Moseley will have been after. Phase after phase in this bottom corner here, just pick and go and pick and go. And it was Hughes that broke through Matthew Morgan's channel underneath the posts, and Moseley's first points of the game and the first points in the second half very early on. And Hughes' conversion successful. Moseley up to 7. Morgan goes through. Carries so well when he's got a bit of space in front of him, doesn't he? Cliff straight through the Moseley line and replies almost instantly to Moseley's score. Great break from Will Cliff. Just saw enough space in front of him around the outside of that ruck, picked it up and goes through the Moseley defence and underneath the posts. Reply to Hughes' score straight away. Of course, the conversion from Henson's good. You see it swirl around behind the posts, though. That wind a real factor. Takes on the man who's tasked with tackling him. Loose ball in there, though, and Moseley are chasing this hard. Morgan's doing everything he can to get back, but surely Moseley are going to score here. A great kick and chase. The referee awards the try. And Moseley have stolen a real opportunist score. Just checking with his touch judge on what happened, but as far as I could see, there's nothing wrong with it. Hughes makes the conversion convincingly. And Moseley are up to 14. Now Bristol start to fracture under the weight of the Moseley drive, which is getting closer and closer to the Bristol line. Starts going backwards. Still Moseley ball though. It's moving side to side, not forwards. Now Moseley go. They break and they're over. The try's awarded. And after all that pressure, Moseley get another try. Advance their score. There's a really lengthy push and drive from Moseley. Bristol were doing everything they could to stem it, but after enough time, just too much power from the Moseley pack to push Bristol backwards. And it fractured and Moseley crashed over. And the conversion from Hughes just skims the inside of their posts nearly. But it's good. And Moseley are up to 21. Big shove from Bristol at the scrum then. Huge shove from Bristol at the scrum. They might even score from this. They're trickling the ball forwards. And they've got to try. What an incredible shove at the scrum. Moseley's put in, and Bristol steal a score. What a huge effort from the pack there. And Phillips controlled the ball brilliantly at the back with his toes, trickling it along the floor, and flopped on top of it to grab another try for Bristol. From the floor, 2 metres out. Bristol are doing everything they can to stop Moseley getting near the line. The ball's tied up in there somewhere. Break around the outside of the ruck. Have Bristol held this one up as well? No, they haven't. And Moseley are over and have stolen a bonus point, much to the delight of the home fans. And they rewarded a penalty, had to tap it. And it was just a matter of time, really, before they powered their way over the line. Maybe the final play of the game will be the attempted conversion. But Bristol will leave Moseley with a bonus point.